Imagine the feeling of intense thirst. It is a hot summer day, and beads of sweat are racing down your forehead. Your instinct probably screams for a glass of water filled to the brim with clinking ice cubes. That immediate, chilling sensation in your throat feels like the ultimate reward, doesn't it? But here's where intuition and biology slightly diverge. While cold water feels incredibly refreshing, it is not necessarily the most efficient way to hydrate your body on a cellular level. Today, we are diving into the thermodynamics of your stomach and why the temperature of what you drink matters more than you might think.
We often equate cold with fresh. Evolutionarily, cold water from a running stream was likely safer than stagnant warm water, which could explain our preference. However, when you down a glass of ice water, your body has to hit the brakes. Before that fluid can be truly useful, your internal system has to expend energy to heat it up. It is a simple matter of homeostasis. Your body wants to maintain a core temperature of about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Throwing freezing liquid into that furnace creates a momentary shock, pausing the absorption process while your body works to reach thermal equilibrium.
To understand hydration speed, we have to talk about gastric emptying. This is the scientific term for how quickly food and liquid leave your stomach and enter the small intestine. This is a crucial distinction. Hydration does not happen in the stomach. The stomach is merely a holding tank, a mixing bowl. The real magic happens in the small intestine, where water is absorbed into the bloodstream. Therefore, the goal of rapid hydration is to get the water out of the stomach as fast as possible. The gatekeeper of this process is a ring of muscle called the pyloric sphincter, and it can be quite picky. So, how does temperature influence this gatekeeper? Research suggests that fluids closer to body temperature pass through the stomach significantly faster than icy fluids. When water is lukewarm or room temperature, the pyloric sphincter allows it to pass with less resistance. It is almost as if the stomach recognizes the fluid as ready for processing. Cold water, conversely, can cause a temporary contraction of the stomach muscles. This delay might only be measured in minutes, but in the context of high-performance athletics or severe dehydration, those minutes translate to a lag in recovery and performance capabilities.
If you have ever watched elite marathon runners or triathletes at aid stations, pay attention. They are rarely chugging slushies. Many endurance athletes consciously choose lukewarm fluids or room temperature sports drinks. This isn't just about avoiding brain freeze, it is about avoiding the slosh. When cold water sits in the stomach waiting to be warmed up, it creates that uncomfortable, heavy feeling of liquids sloshing around with every step. By drinking lukewarm water, the fluid vacates the stomach quickly, preventing bloating and allowing the athlete to maintain their stride without gastrointestinal distress.
Let's look at the energy equation again. We mentioned earlier that the body heats cold water, but let's quantify that. While the calorie burn from drinking ice water is negligible for weight loss, despite what some diet fats claim, it is significant for energy conservation during fatigue. If your body is already working hard to run a race or fight off an illness, diverting energy to heat up water in your stomach is inefficient. Warm water matches your body's internal environment. It integrates seamlessly, requiring zero thermal work from your metabolism. It is the path of least resistance for a tired system. There is also a neurological component to consider. The vagus nerve is a major nerve that runs from your brainstem down to your abdomen, overseeing heart rate and digestion. Drinking very cold water can stimulate the vagus nerve in a way that slows down your heart rate and, ironically, slows down digestion. It is a shock to the system. In some sensitive individuals, ice water can even trigger headaches or dizziness. Warm water, however, is soothing. It promotes vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels, which can actually aid in circulation and help the hydration reach your tissues more effectively.
Beyond simple hydration, water acts as a solvent for the nutrients and minerals we need. Think about washing a greasy pan. Cold water solidifies the grease, making it hard to remove, while warm water dissolves it. A similar principle applies to digestion. Warm water helps dissolve fats and oils from the food you have eaten, aiding the digestive process. It encourages the breakdown of food, whereas cold water can solidify fats in the stomach, potentially making digestion more sluggish. For someone looking to optimize their nutrient absorption alongside hydration, warmth is a powerful catalyst.
Our respiratory and digestive tracts are lined with mucous membranes. These tissues are highly sensitive to thermal changes. Very cold water can cause congestion or the thickening of nasal fluids. Anyone with a cold knows that ice water often makes congestion feel worse. Warm water, conversely, keeps these mucous membranes fluid and moving. It acts as a natural expectorant. This is why tea with honey is a universal remedy for sickness. It isn't just the ingredients, it is the temperature. The warmth reduces irritation and supports the body's natural defense mechanisms in the throat and upper digestive tract.
Now, we must address the counter-argument, palatability. Studies clearly show that people tend to drink more water when it is cool and flavored. If the water is too warm, you might take a few sips and stop. If it is cool, you might finish the bottle. So there is a trade-off. Warm water is absorbed slightly faster per ounce, but if the temperature discourages you from drinking enough volume, you lose the benefit. The sweet spot for many scientists and coaches is cool but not cold, around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It is palatable enough to drink in volume, but not cold enough to shock the stomach.
It is fascinating to see how modern physiology aligns with ancient practices. Traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda have recommended drinking warm or hot water for thousands of years. They view cold water as extinguishing the digestive fire. For centuries, this was seen as a cultural ritual or a metaphysical belief. Today, we can look at gastric emptying rates and enzyme activity and realize they were observing the same biological reality, just describing it with different language. The digestive fire is essentially optimal metabolic enzyme function, which indeed struggles in a cold environment.
This science is why many nutritionists suggest starting your day with a glass of warm lemon water. When you wake up, you are naturally dehydrated after 8 hours of sleep. Your metabolism is in a resting state. Shocking it with ice water is jarring. Warm water, however, gently wakes up the gastrointestinal tract. It stimulates peristalsis, the wave-like muscle contractions that move digestion along, helping to flush out toxins and prepare the stomach for breakfast. It is a gentle metabolic alarm clock that prioritizes flow and function over the immediate sensory kick of cold.
Is there ever a time for ice water? Absolutely. If you are overheating, suffering from heat exhaustion, or trying to lower your core temperature after a brutal workout in the sun, cold water is beneficial. In this specific scenario, the goal shifts from rapid hydration to rapid cooling. The internal heat exchange that usually slows digestion becomes a benefit here, acting as an internal ice pack. However, for the vast majority of daily hydration needs, sitting at a desk, light exercise, or with meals, the cooling effect is unnecessary and potentially counterproductive to digestion. Let's zoom into the molecular level for a moment. Temperature is essentially a measurement of kinetic energy. In warm water, the molecules are moving faster. They are more energetic. When these energetic molecules hit the semi-permeable membranes of your cells, the diffusion process is naturally supported by this kinetic energy. Cold water molecules are sluggish. While the body eventually warms them up, that initial interaction at the cellular barrier is less dynamic. By drinking warm water, you are essentially providing your cells with fluid that is already energized and matching the vibrational state of your biology.